Guys, we're going to learn about something called composite figures today. Composite figures are going to be weird shapes. Basically, it is an odd or irregular shape, and the way that we make it, it's made from two or more regular shapes or two or more normal shapes that we already know. So what we're going to have to do with these composite figures is we're going to either be asked to find the area or the perimeter. To find the area, let's look at that first. Okay, actually, let's look at perimeter. When we want to find the perimeter, what we are going to do is we are going to highlight only the outside of the figure. We will add up those edges, and then again, perimeter is going to be, it's just going to be regular units, and then remember, perimeter of a circle is the circumference. So if we want to find the perimeter of this guy, we're going to highlight just the outside edges, just like this. And what we're going to do next is we are going to add up those edges. Now, before I even start adding them up though, we have this side, we don't know how long it is. And this side, we don't know how long it is. So we have to write that down first before we accidentally forget about them. So we can find this side right here because we know that from this side all the way to the end is 8 centimeters. Well, up here, up to there is 3. So the rest of the way has to be 8 minus the 3. So we would get 5. Okay? And then we can find this missing guy by looking up and down. So the whole way up is 7. And now up to here is 4. So the rest of this has to be 3. So now, before I even start adding, what I usually do next is I circle where I'm going to start. So I'm going to start with the 4 and I'm going to start adding that way. This way I don't accidentally add one of them more than once. So we have 4 plus 5 plus 3 plus another 3, and I'm just going this way, right? I'm just going around, plus 7, and then plus that 8. All right, so that's going to give us the perimeter of this composite figure. Add all of those up, and we get 30. It's going to be 30 centimeters. Okay? Let's look at the perimeter of this composite figure. So this composite is made up from a semicircle, which is a half circle, and then we have a rectangle. All right, the first thing that we need to know is to get the perimeter around the top part, we need around that semicircle. Well, with circles, the perimeter, we're going to use circumference. But notice, we don't want to go around the whole circle, because if I start highlighting this, we're going to go, so we only highlight the outside. Remember, we only want the outside. The perimeter is around the outside. So now notice, it's going to be 10 plus 14 plus 10, but then we also need around this guy. And again, when we talk about around or perimeter of a circle, it's circumference, but this is only half. It's half a circle or a semicircle. So when we do our formula for circumference of a circle, we're going to divide by 2. Now real quick, what's our radius? Yep, our radius is going to be 7. So now when we do this in our calculator, we will get 21.98. So then I would write that up here, 21.98. And then let's see where I started. Oops. So then the perimeter, again, typically I circle where I start and then I make my little arrow. So we have 10 plus, oops, I went the other way. So 10 plus 14 plus another 10 plus 21.98 gives me a total of perimeter of 55.98, and it's millimeters or mm. Okay, so perimeter is just along the outside. All right, next let's talk about area. To find the area of these figures, what we're going to do is divide the shape into shapes that we actually know. We're going to find the area of the shapes that we know, and then we're going to add up all those areas. Remember, area is going to be units squared. So, if I start looking at this first figure that we had up here, okay, well, this figure, this is basically, if I cut it right there, I have one rectangle, or actually that's a square, and then this second shape is what? A rectangle. All right, we know how to find the area of a square, and we know how to find the area of a rectangle. So we just have to find the area of each one separately, and then we're going to add up the area of this guy with the area of this guy, and that will give us the total area. So area of our first one is going to be, so a square, use your formula sheet, it's 3 times 3. Gives us 9. The area of the second guy is going to be a rectangle. It's going to be length times width. So we have this times 4. And now be careful. Sometimes people look over here and you want to say 7. But remember, the 7 goes all the way up. Okay? We only want up to here. Okay? So the area of the second guy is going to be 4 times 8, which gives us 32. And now if we want the area of this whole thing, we're going to add up those two areas. We get 41, and it's centimeters squared. All right, let's look at this next guy. If we want to find the area of this guy, again, your first step is to cut it into pieces that we already know. I see that we have a triangle, and then we have a rectangle. Okay? For area of a triangle, your formula is 1/2 times base times height. Now, if you look at the formula sheets, the base and the height, so the base has to make a 90-degree angle. Okay? If you look, here is my 90-degree angle. That didn't work out right. Hold on one second. This is my 90-degree angle right there. So my base is that 8, okay? Or actually, what are they talking about for the 8? Oh, the 8 goes all the way up and down. We're going to have to change my answer. All right, so let's talk about this. So the base is actually, we have to look down here to figure it out. This whole way is 12. But then up to here is 3. This other part is 3. So this missing part is 12 minus 3 minus 3. So we get that the base of this is 6. The base of the triangle. So base of triangle. I'm just going to put that down here for right now so that we have it. Now we need the height of the triangle. So the height of the triangle. Well, we know that this whole thing is 8. But then they show us over here that up to here is 4. So this other part right here is going to be 8 minus 4. So the height of this triangle is going to be 4. So let's see. So now, height of triangle is going to be 4. Okay? So now let's look at this. So we're going to have 1/2 times the base times the height. So 1/2 times 6, and that's actually going to be 4. So we got to change that. That's going to be a 4. All right, when we do 1/2 times 6 times 4, we will get 12. Okay? Next, so that's the area of just the triangle. Now we do the area of the rectangle. All right? For the rectangle, length times width, we have 4 times this 12. So we have the area of a rectangle is length times width, 4 times 12, which is 48. All right, so we found the area of each one separately. Now your last step is we take the area of both of them the area of the triangle, the area of the rectangle, and we're going to add them. That will give us the area of the whole composite figure. So we have, oops, it's going to be 12 plus 48. So let me fix that. So 12 plus 48 will give us what? 60 centimeters squared. And that is my final answer. All right. Once you feel comfortable with this, go ahead and try the practice problems on the back. Good luck.